Welcome to the Biosphere Toolbox. Liam and I are extremely grateful to those of you who filled out the survey. We'll highlight a couple of the high points from the survey here in just a moment. Also, I'm going to give you a specific strategy for transforming training into results. No matter what the training is inside your shop, you're going to love this simple and powerful process. Let's look at a couple of the response results from the survey that I think are really interesting. First, what kind of training does your current shop offer? Predictably, over 90%, technical, mechanical. Those technicians got to keep them on top of stuff. It's the last ranked kind of training that I think is fascinating, communication and conflict resolution. This is a huge opportunity for your shops. Why do I say that? It's because our world, our society is in a lot of conflict right now. People are conflictual, more conflictual through social media, politics. Listen, if I had a nickel for every political ad that I see, I would not have to have the Biosphere, and neither would you if you got your nickel. So people are in more conflict that come through your door, your customers, also your coworkers. They just feel a little more uneasy. Higher level communication and conflict resolution training will help everything else in your shop. You'll be more efficient, proficient when things flare up, knowing how to address those things. So can't stress enough, DISC assessments that we offer in the Biosphere coaching program. We're all DISC certified, so we really believe in whatever the assessment, whatever you do, conflict resolution training pays off. The other question I thought was really interesting, and I thought they were all interesting, and by the way, all the results can be downloaded, all the responses, and there's a link right below this video for the full array of survey responses, was what's in it for you as an employee inside your shop? This one was fascinating. Higher levels of efficiency, proficiency, consistency, understood, but it's the money question that I thought was absolutely fascinating. Only 38% of you believe that training leads to you making more money. That is a huge opportunity for your shops. If there's a disconnect between having you and your people follow a training program and the end game of making more money, then sit your people down, everybody sit down and have that great conversation about, first of all, do you know how you're compensated? I would say at least a third of the people I train with don't fully understand their compensation package, the percentages, the bonusing. Second, do you understand that if you become more proficient at these things, whatever those things are, better at them, that will lead to more money in your pocket? Again, worth a conversation with everybody inside your shop. Opportunity there. Now let's move on to a strategy for how to help transform your training into results that stick, results that 6 months later or a year later, you're still following the same great training and coaching protocol. It starts with that, at ground zero, so to speak, what's in it for me? Everybody has to understand that, what's in it for me to do this training before they could really be powered forward into the next question, which is understanding that training is an agreement. Yeah, you're entering into an agreement. Anyone who's in the training program between you and ownership and management. Remember that we don't manage people, we manage agreements. Training is one of those agreements, which dovetails then into learning the training steps as a process. Process is key here. People are different kinds of learners. All of us learn in different ways. And so your training program should be offered to people in your shop on different platforms. There's auditory learners, which is why we coach on the phone, over the phone, and visual learners, Biosphere Toolbox, other examples. Kinesthetic learners, which is seeing it, printed documents, writing notes, all of those things are at different elements of our senses. The more different ways you can offer training to the different kinds of learners, the better people will be at learning it and then implementing it. Next step, implementing the process as a procedure. So implementation of training. This is one of the biggest opportunities, I think, for shops is fully implementing what they're investing their time and money into in terms of training. The implementing as a procedure, this becomes part of the fabric, vision, mission, guiding principles, job descriptions, procedures, all right? This gives it the weight of that it's part of everything else that matters inside your shop, the written pathway. The last, holding employees accountable to that procedure as a policy. Too often, training is looked at as a suggestion. It's, hey, I'd like you to do this stuff, and if you do it, great, and if you don't do it, okay. It's how employees may see it. Training has to be seen as a policy, which means that everyone will be held accountable to learning it, implementing it, and mastering it, fully realizing the benefits from it. So learn, that's the process. Implement, that's the procedure. Accountability is the policy. Those things combined with passion. So you got 4 P's here. Passion comes from answering the question, what's in it for you? That powers everything else. Process, procedure, policy plus passion equals results. That's how you get to the results you want and the things you want from training. We all have examples of this and how we've achieved at a high level in our personal and professional lives, something we really wanted. My example I share in training is one that for me is extremely profound, and that is losing weight. I lost 160 pounds at one point in my life, yes. And not just like over a period of 30 years, where like the first year I lost 4 pounds. No. In one 18-month period, I lost 160 pounds. How was I able to do that? Well, I started out weighing 320 pounds at the beginning of the journey when I was 34 years old. I was sitting in an emergency room, having food poisoning, being extremely sick, and the ER doctor came up to me and he said, and I remember it like it was yesterday, he said, Johnny, if you don't lose weight, you're going to be dead by the time you're 40. Well, that was enough for me. My passion was I wanted to live. And so at 18 months, I went from 320 to 160, half my body weight. It's the biggest achievement of my entire life. And I learned so much from it. And for 13 years, I generally speaking kept the weight off. Now, I have to show you a picture, the before and after. You there? There's the old Johnny. Yes, before and after. Huge transformation. Now, I've put on some weight since then. I don't have the passion that I did. It's not as big a deal. It doesn't mean I want to die. It's not what I want. I'm just driven by other things now. But I proved to myself that I could want something so much that I would follow a process, make it a procedure, make it a policy. The relentless, obsessive pursuit of what we want will lead to getting what it is exactly what we want. This is just one example of how we can do that. You don't know what you can do. You don't know what you're capable of. You have no idea what you can achieve. But it starts with understanding what it is you want in the first place. That's what gets results. I appreciate you watching today's video. Again, all of the survey results can be downloaded right below this video. I'd love to get your feedback on any of this and how training has impacted your shop in a positive way or how it may be struggling to fully implement it. You can leave your comments as well on this post. Again, thank you for watching, and thank you for continuing to work with us to build something better together and get those great results.